music, rhyme schemes, metaphors, meanings, punchlines, shit like that. And you know,
Yeah.
and the fun thing about something like that is that the length of the video can also vary as to, I mean, people could join into it too. I mean, you know, it's like everyone likes music and everyone listens to different things, and you know, and we could add people to, you know, the chat and stuff, and be like, you know, hey, we have our guest here. We're all going to be talking about this album, and you know what we all think about it, and you know everybody has a different opinion on albums. I mean, honestly, I think J. Cole's new album's impeccable, but Needle Drop says it's a light 6 out of 10, and I'm just like, well, that's very unfair. I mean, in my opinion, that's pretty unfair because of the fact that, you know, it's like, I mean, in my opinion, J. Cole's album isn't for anyone. It's really just for the dude's daughter in general, period. Point blank simple. Not for, you know, the masses, not for the critics, not for anyone else. It's just for him, for the dude's who died daughter.
Down one turret.
You know, I mean, he didn't, like, J. Cole didn't have to send that album out. He really didn't. He could have just left it as it was, and just you know, and just said, here, you're his daughter. Here you go. This is yours. This is your father's story. You know, he could have just did that, but he chose not to because, you know, he has fans. You know, I'm doing fucking great with this goddamn bow and arrow. Holy shit, I have like what, 5 downs now? This thing? Oh my god. Shit's amazing. Ah! He's a run! Fuck! Whoa! Alright. Let's not panic. Let's not panic. Okay. They wanna do all this? Fuck that.
That fucker ain't getting up. Alright, good to go.
But yeah, you know, he could have just not released it. It probably was and also it probably was a thing prior to the date that it came out. It probably was a thing like a year ago, you know? It probably was already done a year ago, and he just wanted his daughter to listen to it first before he, you know, and you know, before he sent it out to like everyone else, you know?
All done. Let's go.
So I mean, you know, I can see why, and that puts deeper meaning into why he said he's retiring from music for a while, because I mean, I'd be emotionally drained too if, say, like Ryan or David or Alicia died, and in the source of, you know, their life, you know, like if I had to ask anybody about their whole story from early adulthood to the end, and then like, you know, and I clearly can't ask them because they're dead, then I have to go to everyone else they're associated with and gather all these things and, you know, make it into a cohesive album, you know? And that's emotionally draining because that's one of his best friends. He grew up with this person, and it's just like, you know, how would you feel if you had to do that for your dad or your mom or anything like that? You know, it's just, you know, it's not something like anybody could ever, you know, be okay with. You know?
Going like this.
No one's okay with that. No one's completely okay with that. You know, it's like writing a biography about your best friend who just died yesterday. You know, that's and then, you know, because you don't know the struggles he dealt with when you weren't around. You know, so now you have to go around the block, you know, ask other people what, you know, was going on with that person in certain time frames, and then make it into a cohesive book. You know, it's not something that you can simply do and then be like, okay, I'm totally okay, because it's just not how that works. You know, I can't imagine, you know, how much, you know, stress it took him to, you know, make 10 tracks. And I think what was noteworthy about it was that it was 10 tracks, not 14, not his normal 26 double album type shit. You know, it was 10 tracks because he probably was so emotionally, you know, out of it that you couldn't bear to write anymore. 10. I can't blame the man.
Let's see him take that.
And that's the, and you know, and that's the type of shit me and Ron were going back and forth about, because you know, it was like, you know, me and him thought it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same as Forest Hills Drive. It was completely different, and there's a reason why it was that, because it's not for, like, Forest Hills Drive was for people who love J. Cole, people who like J. Cole, people who are young adults, who are adolescents, who don't know exactly where they're going in life in the next 5 to 6 years, but know where they want to be right then and there, which is with their friends, with their relationships, with their loved ones, and all that stuff, in order to get past the adolescence age and find where they need to be. And this album is just about, I mean, if it's not about the person that he wrote about, then it's also about, you know, how those adolescents failed to change and now are stuck in a predicament they rather not be in.
Boom. Boom. Watch it.
You know?
Shit. I have to
Now
wrap
they're
this
stuck
up.
in a predicament they rather not be in because they didn't wise up and, you know.
Down one uniform.
God damn, that 9mm.
That's one.
Whoo! That guy was holding a bat to my face. Jesus. I might as well just make this video I might as well make this whole thing right now the album review plus gameplay. Shit. Anyway. But yeah, I mean, it just wasn't like, I guess it was just for, you know, the people who past adolescence is 5 to 6 years from now, and they're still, you know, they're falling in love, they're doing all the things that adults do, but they're still, you know, trapped in that, you know, immaturity. They're still trapped in that immaturity that is, you know, adolescence, and, you know, just becoming an adult and dealing with it. And now that they're stuck in the position that they are in, it's hard to get out of it, you know, because in tracks like, what was it? In tracks like Immortal, he's talking about how being hard and a gangster and all this shit, but at the end, you know, he says he's gonna go out like Scarface in his last scene, a legend, but he struggles with the fact that a legend, the way you know, people get immortalized in shirts, put on shirts, rip this person from 2000 whatever, you know, becomes a legend on the block, but, you know, wasn't known when they were alive. You know, it's just like, you know, does he really want to be truly appreciated when he's dead, rather than, you know, make a name for himself now while he's alive? You know, it's just stuff like that, you know, that brings extra layers to the album, in my opinion. But I give it like a cool, you know, like a cool 8 out of 10. There were some tracks that didn't work. I'm not going to say I like all the tracks. There were some tracks I skipped because, you know, I didn't like them initially. But I appreciate, you know, that he put them out, because, you know, it's just like, I mean, 10 tracks from J. Cole is 10 amazing tracks, but you're never going to have a track on J. Cole, any of J. Cole's projects, that'll be like, oh, that was trash. You're never going to have that. But what you will have is a cohesive experience that,
Bastards are on
you
their
know,
last legs.
everyone can enjoy, because of the fact that, hold on, because of the fact that it's
Fucking blind! Cover me. I gotta patch up.
that's my whole thing. Now, please enjoy the rest of this game. I'm just kidding.
Boy.
But yeah, this is definitely going to be a video, so I guess. Yeah, it wasn't a plan. It wasn't a planned video. I didn't plan to do this shit.
Not everything is
But
planned.
shit, the world works in mysterious ways. It's mysterious. Woo! Double whammy.
Uniforms are
Woo!
fucking done.
And that's the end of that. Anyway, peace out.